Hi guys, how you doing? Got your class right here set up. I want to talk about week three, introduction to week three type thing, and show you some of the expectations for this week's before you get started. I made a huge mistake last week, and I prepared the video a little bit too late, so um, I ended up having to create a bunch of other videos for you guys. So I hope you enjoyed your own personal videos. What this week I'm going to try to circumvent that. Of course, it was quite time consuming, but I'm going to try to circumvent that by creating this video so that I can refer. You guys can refer to this as you get started on your milestone one. So we got the image in Photoshop, right? We learned how to pick images. We learn to adjust those images. I suggested to keep it very simple in terms of your adjustment layers for this learning process. Of course, you can go back into your work on your own time and really start to develop some interesting experimentation there. For the sake of the assignment and the submissions, though, I really want you guys to think about just keep abreast with the assignment specifications. Okay, I know that some of you can do really amazing things in Photoshop, and I appreciate that, but now's just not the time to show it. As the project develops, absolutely, you can start showing your skills. But right now, we just have to stick to this basic scaffolding so that I can ensure that you are proficient at the steps that the department deems necessary in order to show proficiency in this portion of digital design. Okay, so that said, you're going to submit digital roughs, an initial drawing, digital roughs. So basically what it's giving you, what is a digital rough? It's a drawing or a concept that shows development of graphic idea. And you can use that, create that digitally using InDesign or Illustrator. Okay, so it's not a sketch. Thumbnail means sketch. That means pencil to paper. Digital roughs means show me your ads, rough versions of your ads. Okay, and that's what that means, a rough version of your ad. Digitally, okay, the client's magazine ad concepts after choosing the and ethically acquiring digital materials that you want to use. Okay, let's look at that. After choosing and ethically acquiring the digital materials that you need to use, what does that mean? Welcome to week three. Part of week three is discussion, ethics, and copyright in graphic design. So from this moment forward, nobody in this class is going to go straight to Google and just do an image search. So I need a beach scene of somebody sunning themselves for my ad, and I'm just going to go to Google and say beach scene of some. No more. We now start doing image searches ethically, meaning you'll have to find images that are either copyright free or able to be used in the educational forum without any copyright ramifications coming down the pike, so to speak. So, remember those, like there's the morgue, the image morgue, and all of those other things. There's all of those other sites that we gave you for image resource sites. Okay, so please be sure now. You need to cite your image sources using APA or MLA formatting. Okay, it's up to you to find out what that means and how to cite those. It's very easy, but I'll be looking for APA or MLA formatting for your image sources. Okay, so then what do? You prepare the image files. So you're going to take those files that you find, ethically find, and you're going to prepare them for the ad, meaning you're going to go in and the same thing we did last week with those images. We're going to prepare them. We're going to color adjust them. We're going to tonally adjust them, okay? I wouldn't do any kind of photo filters or any kind of cutout filters or anything like that. Just a simple tonal adjustment layer and a simple color adjustment layer should suffice. So apply the chosen client's typography. So you have that stuff in your assets from Amethyst Bay, okay? So, and then basically what you're going to do is put this thing together. Now, I want you to pay attention to this. As you work, make notes of the step you take, okay? you are going to want to take screenshots of this process because this is going to be I don't, for those of you who haven't read ahead, there's two finals for this class. There's final 1 and final part 2. Final part 2 is basically a course reflection, so you'll need to write all this stuff down. Give me screenshots. Might as well do it now, right? Okay, so how do we actually set this file up? Let's go to, and I'll just do this refresher thing. I showed you this last week, but I'm just going to show you again, and I'm going to explain a couple of things about it. So I'm just going to go to Illustrator, and I'm going to go File, New. Okay, now Magazine, I'm going to name this my magazine. Okay, and magazine sizes vary across the globe. European magazine, especially magazine sizes, are really super interesting sizes. Most American magazines are 8 and some odd inches by 10 point some odd inches. So we typically, in education, round that off and just design our magazine covers it straight up 8.5 by 11. And that's what I suggest you do. So we're going to do that. And we're going to go to custom, and this is a print magazine, remember? So we're going to go to our profile, and we're going to select print. Only one artboard, don't need more than one artboard. Size, let's go to size and see what's going on. Over here we have our size set to points. But right over here, this drop down, you can conveniently change that over to inches. Now, as you grow in your design career, you're going to start using picas and points for typography and measurement. But right now, it's okay to use inches. We are the only country in the world, by the way, that uses inches for typographic measurement, etc. Now we're going to talk about bleed. What is a bleed? Okay, if I have a magazine that has a, let me just grab something and show you. And I'm going to grab this Shepherd Ferry. How appropriate, right? Because this is one of the topics in our ethical portion of this week's assignment. But I just now see how the color and the graphics go right off the edge of the page. That's called a bleed, as opposed to having a white or a color border. Okay, so if the graphics only come to right here, of course, you just place the graphics on the file, and that's all there is to it. No fuss, no muss, no extra cost, nothing. To bleed it and make it come off the edge, you have to make the image larger than the page size so that it prints larger than the page size. So when they cut it and trim it, it goes off the page. Okay, and that's called a full bleed. Now let me put my notebook back, and then we'll show you how to do a full bleed. We'll show you how to set that up. So over here in the setup, you have this bleed area. Most typically, I'm going to collect that right there is going to lock all the settings. That lock right there, and I just want to say that in the United States, most printers require a 1/16 of an inch bleed area. Always check your printer. Some have different requirements. 1/16 of an inch is a good bet. So let's go ahead and change that to 0.02. I'm sorry, 0.125. That's a 1/16 of an inch. I'll click that so they're all 1/16 of an inch. Let's go to the advanced. And our color mode is CMYK. Yes, that's right. Raster effects, you want to set that at 300. And preview mode should be fine at default. Okay, I'm going to click OK. And our resulting file will open. And here is our resulting file. Now, I'm noticing that something is amiss here in my bleed line. There's something wrong with my bleed line. So I'm going to just eliminate that file, and I'm going to do that again. File, new, untitled, let's do my magazine, profile, print, number of artboards, 1, size, letters, fine, go to points and inches, so make sure it's 8.5 by 11, orientation, bleed, 0.125 all the way around. Okay, say okay. And now you can see there was a little glitch there, but you see this red? That's the bleed line, and that's where you would drag your images to. So suppose I wanted to say, I'm going to place an image in here. And let me just go find, oh geez, what is this? Let's go find Oh, I'm sorry about this. I should have had this set up. I'm just going to go find a picture because I want to show you how to do this. Pictures. Let's find any old picture. Let's use that one right there, and we'll place that. Let's go ahead and place that. Now, I want to show you that if I want this to bleed off the page, in other words, that's the end of the page right there, okay? The page it gets printed on is going to be bigger than that because pages always get cut to size. So instead of putting it right there, okay, now what if the trim isn't close enough and they miss it a little bit? You're going to get pieces of white. So you always want to pull it up and over to the bleed. See how it's off the page now to the bleed side? And now that's going to bleed right off the page. Okay, so you'll have that no partition there, no demarcation, no white border, no nothing. Okay, so that's how you do that. And then as far as the rest goes, is placing the images and getting this ready. That's all you do. Is this is your magazine. Now I do want to say one thing. I'll get rid of that guy, but I just want to remind you, if you want to add layers, here's your add layer. Now, typically when I do a magazine, I'll have, when I do an ad layout, I'll do 3 layers, okay? My first layer I'm going to call that PSD. And that's where I'm going to place my Photoshop document. That's where my only layer is, the only thing I have on that layer is the placed Photoshop document, or documents, I should say. Layer 2, I'm just going to call guides. And I use that just to keep all my guides together so I can turn them all off or turn them all on at the same time. And layer 3, of course, is called text and art. And that holds the rest of the, okay, so there's your 3 layers. So that's it. That's what I'm looking for. That will be milestone 1. Now, I'm going to close that down, and I just want to bring your attention to a couple of more things, namely the rubric. Okay, so read through this. You got your digital roughs. I went through all this, so this is nothing new. As you work, make note of the steps you take, as you will be documenting your process later in a written reflection. In addition, you should take screenshots of the steps you show which tools used for each task, okay? So in other words, when you're processing your images, take a screenshot for me, because that's going to be due later on in part 2 of the final. Okay, and then here's your here's kind of like some steps for success for the magazine, and apply your typography. I got to close this down. I'm about to run out of time with my video. Select prepare appropriate image files, including digital photographs for use in print ad. Okay, it's all here, folks. So that's it. And then we have discussion, ethical and copyright and graphic design. And that's self-explanatory. I'm not going to talk too much about that. But you do have a ton of resources right up here. Okay, that's all I have, guys. Welcome to week 3, and I'll see you in discussion board. Thank you.